The cameras were already flashing before they even stepped out of the car. That alone said everything. When Rihanna and A$AP Rocky appear anywhere together, it's never just another night, it's a moment. But this time, something felt different. The energy wasn't just excitement. It was tension, curiosity, and an unspoken question that had been building for months. What are they hiding? Because behind the smiles, the coordinated outfits, the subtle glances, fans had started noticing the clues. The rings. The whispers. The silence. The secret everyone felt. But no one could confirm. It didn't start with a big announcement. No press release. No Instagram post. No dramatic reveal. Instead, it started quietly. A slightly different ring on RiRi's finger. A moment where Rocky looked at her just a little too deeply during an interview. A lyric change during a live performance that fans replayed hundreds of times trying to decode. And then, the rumors exploded. Were they engaged? At first, people dismissed it. After all, this is Rihanna, a woman who controls her narrative like no one else. If something that big had happened, surely she would have told the world, right? But that's exactly what made this situation so different. She didn't. Behind closed doors, a love built away from the spotlight. What fans didn't see was the reality behind the scenes. While the world was watching their every move, A$AP Rocky and Rihanna were doing the one thing celebrities rarely get to do. They were living, normally. Late-night conversations without cameras. Quiet mornings with no makeup, no styling, no pressure. Moments of vulnerability that didn't need validation from millions of strangers. And somewhere in those moments, it happened. Not in a stadium. Not on a red carpet. Not in front of flashing lights. But in private. Real. Raw. Unfiltered. Rocky asked. And RiRi said yes. So why keep it a secret? That's the question that shook fans the most. Why would two of the biggest stars in the world hide something so beautiful? The answer wasn't simple. But when it finally came out, it changed how people saw them completely. Because according to sources close to the couple, the decision wasn't about mystery. It was about protection. They had already experienced what public pressure could do. Every outfit analyzed. Every word twisted. Every disagreement turned into headlines. And this? This was too important to be turned into content. They didn't want their engagement to become a trend. They didn't want opinions from strangers shaping their happiness. They didn't want the world involved in something that belonged only to them. So they made a decision most celebrities wouldn't dare to make. They kept it private. The moment everything almost slipped. But secrets like that don't stay hidden forever. There was one night, one moment, that almost exposed everything. During a high-profile appearance, RiRi instinctively adjusted her hand, and the ring caught the light just right. Fans froze the frame. Zoomed in. Analyzed every pixel. Within hours, social media was in chaos. Is that an engagement ring? Wait, has she been engaged this whole time? Why didn't they tell us? The pressure was building again. And this time, it was impossible to ignore. The emotional reveal that changed everything. When they finally addressed it, it wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't even planned. It came during a calm, almost intimate moment, far from the chaos of speculation. And what A$AP Rocky said caught everyone off guard. He didn't talk about the ring first. He didn't talk about the proposal. He talked about peace. About how rare it is to find someone who understands you beyond fame. About how their relationship wasn't built for the internet, it was built for them. About how, for once, they wanted something sacred, untouched by outside noise. And then, almost casually, he confirmed it. Yes. They were engaged. And they had been for a while. RiRi's reaction. Said more than words ever could. All eyes turned to Rihanna. Would she make a statement? Would she explain everything? She didn't. Instead, she smiled. Not the kind of smile you give the cameras. Not the polished, practiced celebrity expression. This was different. Soft. Genuine. Almost emotional. And in that moment, fans understood something they hadn't before. This wasn't about secrecy. It was about ownership. For once, one of the most public women in the world had chosen to keep something just for herself. The real reason. Finally revealed. As more details surfaced, the truth became clear. They didn't hide their engagement because they were unsure. They didn't hide it because they were afraid. They hid it because it mattered too much. In a world where everything is shared instantly. Where relationships are judged, compared, and sometimes destroyed by public opinion. A$AP Rocky and Rihanna did something rare. They protected their love. They chose depth over attention. Privacy over validation. Reality over performance. And now, everything feels different. Now that the truth is out, fans are seeing them through a new lens. Every glance makes sense. Every moment feels deeper. Every appearance carries a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. Because now we know. Behind the headlines, behind the fame, behind the speculation. There was always something. Real. Something worth protecting. Something they weren't willing to let the world touch. Until they were ready. And if there's one thing this reveal proved, it's this. Not everything powerful needs to be loud. Sometimes, the strongest love stories are the ones that happen in silence. The truth didn't come out in a press release. It didn't drop in a perfectly curated Instagram caption. And it definitely wasn't something Rihanna and A$AP Rocky ever planned to explain this way. Because for them, this wasn't just an engagement. It was something they protected. The silence that said everything. For months, fans noticed the subtle signs. A ring that appeared, then disappeared. Glances that lingered just a second too long. Moments where Rocky seemed more grounded, and Rihanna, more guarded. It wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. And that's exactly what made people suspicious. Because this is Rihanna we're talking about, the global icon who turned every life moment into a cultural event. And Rocky? A man who lives unapologetically, boldly, without filters. So why would they stay quiet?